Okay, today we'll be talking about right triangles, special ones. The first one I need to talk to you about is the 45, 45, 90 triangle. And that triangle, they got it from a square. A square has four right angles, and all the sides have the same measurement. So this is one, this will be one, one, and one. Now, if we draw a diagonal, then this used to be 90, now it's 45, 45, because 45 plus 45 will give you 90. And same thing right here, 45, 45. Now, if you notice, I know anything about that triangle, one of them. The only thing that I don't know is the hypotenuse. I don't know what's the hypotenuse. So, if you use the Pythagorean theorem, that says that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Remember, a and b are the legs, and c will be the hypotenuse. So one of the legs is 1, the other leg is 1, and the hypotenuse, we don't know. Keep it as c. 1 squared will give you 1, 1 squared will give you 1, and that's equal to c squared. 1 plus 1 is 2, is equal to c squared. I want the c, I don't want the square. To get the square, you do square root. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Square root and square are opposites, they cancel. So you have c is radical 2. So that means that this right here is radical 2. So what you know now is you know the following. If you have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the acute angle will be 45, 45, and this is 90. This will be 1, this will be 1, and the hypotenuse will be radical 2. Okay, memorize that. Okay, you need to memorize it. Now, the other special triangle is the 30, 60, 90. So now we do the 30, 60, 90. And this was a 45, 45, 90. Okay, 30, 60, 90. We use an equilateral triangle. That means that all the sides have the same measurement. Let's say 1, 1, 1. If all the sides are congruent, then the angles will be also be congruent. They'll be equal to each other. So each one of them will be 60, 60, 60. 60 plus 60 plus 60 will give you 180. Okay, now if you draw a line coming straight down here, that'll be 90. And this was 60 cut in half, so this side will be 30. This side will be 30. Now you have the 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, now this side used to be 1, but it cut in half. So this is half, and this will be a half. Okay, now I know everything about either triangle, the one on the left, but I'm missing this side right here. So I need to find this side. So using the same thing, using Pythagoras theorem, the Pythagorean theorem says the following. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. A and b are the legs, and c will be the hypotenuse. So these will be the legs. So one leg is half, and you square that. The other leg, we don't know that leg, so we call that b squared. Keep it as b. And the hypotenuse will be 1 squared. 1/2 squared will give you 1/4 plus b squared is equal to 1. Now minus 1/4 minus 1/4 because I'm solving for b. These are opposites, they cancel. So you have b squared, 1 minus 1/4. $1 minus a quarter will give you 75 cents or 3/4. Okay. Now my goal is to get the b by itself. So you do square root of this, and when you do to one side, you must do it to the other. The square root and square are opposites; they cancel. You have b is equal to radical 3. We don't know it is radical 3, and radical 4 is 2. So now b is 3/2. So what we have is on a 30, 60, 90 triangle. 90, the big angle will be 60, and the small angle will be 30. One side will be 1/2. The hypotenuse will be 1, and the other leg will be radical 3 over 2. Now, the problem is the fractions. We don't like fractions. So what we're going to do is do the following. I'm going to multiply everything by 2. And I'm doing that because I want to get rid of the fractions, okay? If that's a fraction, make this a fraction. I can cancel the 1, I can cancel the 2. So in this case, the answer is 1. And 1 times 2 will give you 2. So this side will be 2. Now, if that's a fraction, make this a fraction. These cancel, so the answer will be radical 3. So on a 30, 60, 90 triangle is the short leg will be 1. The longer leg will be 1 over radical 3. I'm sorry, this is wrong. Is just radical 3. Okay. So the longer leg will be radical 3 and the hypotenuse will be 2. Okay. And what you also need to know is for this assignment, you need to know the following is 2 triangles are similar, and we use this symbol to mean similar if their number one corresponding. Remember, corresponding means in the same position. When I do examples, you will understand what corresponding means. Corresponding angles. This means angles are congruent. We have a symbol for congruency, and that is this symbol. That means congruent. Okay. Now, corresponding sides are proportional. And what proportional is means one fraction equal to the other, equal to the other. So for example, you do the hypotenuse of one triangle, hypotenuse of the other one, yeah, whatever answer you get here will be similar to the short leg over the short leg. Okay. And the last thing you need to know is the following. When you do mathematics, no radical in the denominator. If you have a radical in the denominator, you have to get rid of it. I'll show you how to do that later on. Remember, you have a fraction. The number in the bottom is the denominator. Okay? Now, once we have that, let me do some examples for you. So, this example says find the missing side lengths. Leave your answer as as radicals in simplest form. So problem number one. Okay, if you notice, I have a 90-45. So this angle would also be 45. Okay, if you want to know why it's 45 is the following. If you add the angles, you should get 180. So if I do 90 plus 45 plus whatever that angle is, should be equal to 180. Combine this, 5 plus 0 will be 5, 9 plus 4 will be 13, plus question mark is equal to 180. Get the question mark by itself, negative 135 from both sides. These will cancel, so you have question mark is equal to 0 minus 5, can do it, borrow from the 8. So you have 10 minus 5 will be 5. 7 minus 3 will be 4. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So the question mark is 45. So in this problem, even though one angle is missing, I know that that's 45. So that triangle will be similar to what I memorized. Remember what you memorized on a 45, 45, 90 triangle. You have side 1, 1, radical 2. Okay, so this will be given in the problem. What you do is this, you're supposed to memorize it. Okay, without this, it's very, very hard to do the problem. So here's the way you do it. Okay, look at the triangle they gave you and pick a side that you know. I know this is 5. So I say 5 from this triangle is to whom over here. Here's how you do it. The 5 is a leg. Give me one leg over here. Let's say 1. 5 is to 1. Now decide you want to find the x or the y. Doesn't matter. Pick one. Let me do y. Y is the other leg. Give me the other leg over here. 1. Cross and multiply. You get 5 is equal to y. And that is the answer for y. Now let's do for the x. Do the same idea. One of the legs over here to 1. Now I have y already. I need to find x. So x is a hypotenuse. What is the hypotenuse over here? Radical 2. Cross multiply, you're going to get 5. Radical 2 is equal to 1 times x is 6. And that is the answer. That'll be your answer. Okay? Now, remember, if you want to, you can do it using trig, sine, cosine, tangent. But remember, there are some examples that they give you. You're allowed to use a calculator. And there's parts of the exam where you're not allowed to use calculator. So if they give you a problem like this, probably without a calculator, they expect you to memorize that. Now, if you use SOHCAHTOA, you don't have to do it. But let me show you the SOHCAHTOA will give you the same answer. So I know 5. I want to use 45. And I know this side. If I'm at 45, what is this side? Okay, that's right next to it, so that'll be the adjacent. And I need to find the hypotenuse. So I need SOHCAHTOA that uses adjacent hypotenuse. That's COM. So the C is for the cosine of the angle. The angle they gave me is 45. The cosine of 45 is equal to the adjacent side. Adjacent is 5 over x. Now, if that's a fraction, make this a fraction, cross multiplying, you get x cosine 45 is equal to 1 times 5 is 5. Get the x by itself, divide by cosine of 45, divide by cosine of 45. These will cancel. Now, remember, when you use trig, you have to be in degrees, don't be in radians. So if you do sine divided by cosine of 45, the answer I get is 7.07. Now you may be saying, wait a minute, Mr. Rivas, this answer is not the same as that. Okay? If you get your calculator and do 5 multiplied by radical 2, you're going to get 7.07 equal to x. Okay? Remember, they told us leave the answer in radical. So if you put the answer in decimal, that's a big hint to your teacher that you're probably using sine, cosine, tangent, using a calculator instead of doing it from similar triangles. Okay? But remember, no matter what method you do it, the answer will be the same. But the idea is you do it via a calculator. So this is the answer you want. Okay? This, you don't have to do it. I'm just trying to show you that no matter which method you use, you get the same answer. Okay? So all you have to do is do this, and that. This is not necessary. Here, what I'm trying to prove you that angle will be 45. Okay. Example number 2. Now they give us a 30, 60, 90 triangle. They didn't tell us, but you can say that this will be 60. Okay. And that triangle will be similar to the triangle that I derived before. Remember, this is 90. The big one will be 60, the big angle. The small angle will be 30. Now, the way I do it, I memorize the number 1, 2, 3, and this will be radical 3. Now, what I do the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is this side right here. And this will be the biggest number. Who's bigger? 1, 2, or radical 3? Radical 3, if you do not calculate, you get like 1.5, 1.6. So the biggest number is 2, so this side will be 2. Now, remember, this number is about, let's say, 1.6. So the next biggest number is this, so this will be radical 3, and this is the smallest number. Now, remember, these are the legs. One is 1 radical 3. I call this a short leg, and I call this the longer leg, and I call this a hypotenuse. Okay? So now, I start with a side that I know from here. I know that this side is 2. So what is 2? If you look at 2, 2 is the longest leg. In here, who is the longest leg? Radical 3. Remember, whoever is next to the right to this mark are the legs. So short leg, short leg, long leg. Now, you pick either the X or the Y. Pick who you want to solve for. Let's do the Y. So Y is a short leg. What is a short leg over here? That'd be 1. Now you cross multiply. 1 times 2 will give you 2. Radical 3 times Y will give you Y radical 3. I'm sorry, Y radical 3. Get the Y by itself. Divide by radical 3. Divide by radical 3. Okay, hold on. Okay, I messed up. when I copy the problem, I copy wrong is this is 7 radical 3 over 2. Okay, that's why it's not making any sense. Now, the side that I know is 7 radical 3 over 2. That's the long leg. What is the long leg over here? These are the legs. The longer one is this. So the long leg is radical 3. Is equal to, pick the x or the y, doesn't matter. Let me do the y. Y is a short leg. Short leg over here will be 1. Cross multiply, you get 7 radical 3 over 2 equal cross multiply, you get y radical 3. Get the y by itself, divide by radical 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. These are opposites, they cancel. So you have y is equal to, on this side I can cancel this and this. So the answer will be 7 over 2. So I found the y already. Okay. Now, let me find the x. Start with the same ratio. 7 radical 3 over 2 is my long leg. The long leg in this case would be radical 3. Now I'm looking for x, so this should be x. X is the hypotenuse. What is the hypotenuse over here? That would be 2. Cross multiplying, you have 7 radical 3 over 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to cross multiplying x radical 3. Now, if that's a fraction, make this a fraction. These will cancel, so the answer will be 7 radical 3 is equal to x radical 3. Okay, get the x by itself. So you're going to divide by radical 3. Divide by radical 3. This cancels, the answer is 7 is equal to x. And that's how you get the answer. Okay? Now, you're ready for the assignment. Get started with the assignment. Thank you.